Hello and a warm welcome to all the guys, gals and non-binary pals watching. I'm Lucas Holland, this is Wiki Weekends, and I'm joined by the Superboy, Karl Smallwood.
Yes, that's me, I guess.
Sounding very, very super there, Karl.
I'm just confused. Why are you calling me Superboy when we're talking about Superman?
We're talking about Superman, but nobody can be Superman that, I guess, isn't Tom Welling.
Do you think he's a good Superman?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that, no doubt. Let's talk about Smallville.
Let's talk about some Smallville, because I have thoughts.
Okay, so why are we talking about Smallville today, Lucas?
Well, we're talking about Smallville today because I made the mistake of putting it as an option of pay for this month on Patreon. We're going to do our monthly vote. Anyone on the voting tier and upwards can go and decide what we're going to talk about. And one of the things I put down was just casually, I guess Smallville. I've not seen Smallville before, which I knew would be a popular pick. I know there's a lot of Smallville sickos, and of course, people lovingly voted for that. And okay, how much of Smallville have I got to watch? And then remembered what American television's like.
This is before Netflix, you get 6 seasons and you fucking like it. 10 seasons, 24 episodes a season, plus Crisis on Infinite Earths in the Flash show. Don't forget that.
That's kryptonite.
Which has no effect on me ever since I gave up my powers.
To clarify, when I realised I have a week to watch Smallville as a concept, I decided what I'm going to do is commit to season 1. And even then, when it's so how much is in season 1? It's do you want to watch 18 hours of television as research for one, less than 1 hour video?
The answer is fuck no, but it's what the audience voted for.
It is what the audience voted for, and it's what I committed to. Karl has, seen bits and pieces of Smallville and familiarised yourself with, the end, the little introduction that I told you to watch again, right?
I watched it back in the day on E4. Mm-hmm. I also as well did watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths arc in the Flash TV show, which revisits basically every superhero show that DC have ever made in the last 60 years. They reference the fucking Adam West Batman show in that Crisis on Infinite Earths. They do a better job of doing it than the Flash movie did.
Holy crimson skies of death!
To clarify, in terms of you've had 24 years to watch the first season, but we're going to do all of season 1 spoilers because I watched all of season 1, and then I also watched the first 10 minutes of season 2 episode 1 because the season 1 ends with a quadruple cliffhanger. Fuck you.
Do you know what that is? That was back in the day. You had to really hedge your bets. I'm okay, if we put 4 cliffhangers in, we get 4 different audiences who want a season 2.
Oh god, yeah. So I have watched 21 episodes and a bit of Smallville, all which are 45 and roughly 45 minutes long, and yeah, it was a wild ride. Condensed into the period of maybe a week. That's a lot to try and fit in around other jobs and stuff, right?
It's a thing we've talked about in the past of television from 10, 15 years ago just does not hold up when viewed via the binge format that now exists. Because so much, as you said, cliffhangers. Cliffhangers used to be a way to get people to come back the following week. They don't work if you can just click another episode 2 seconds later. And
I'll give them credit, they didn't commit to the weekly cliffhangers, but then they went all in on the final season, the season finale. As I said, maybe quadruple, quintuple, type of a cliffhanger, but week to week it is very much monster of the week with Teenage Superman.
Which is what Superman should be. It's why I like that Flash TV show. I enjoyed the Flash TV show with Grant Gustin right up until they decided, okay, we need to have an overarching villain of every season, and the overarching villain can run faster than the Flash can. It's like, you can do that once, you can't do it 5 times on the fucking bounce. I don't care who Godspeed is.
You can't. Stop.
Why can't we just have the Grant Gustin solving mysteries and saving the day and hanging out with Melissa Benoist Supergirl?
Supergirl? Flash? I just love it when you guys team up.
We've spoken before about the fact that not only, these shows rely on things that aren't really applicable in the binge-watching era, also that binge-watching these shows that are meant to be watched weekly, things come up a lot and will recur a lot when you don't really notice it when you're watching 45 minutes of it a week, right?
Because the idea is that they need to keep bringing those things up to remind you of them. Because it might have been a week since you watched an episode, and in that week you might have done fucking anything else.
Or they're relying on you to forget things. Because, Karl, I have renamed Smallville Season 1. And obviously we know Superman, Clark Kent, their other name is Kal-El.
Yes.
I'm renaming Smallville Season 1 to Karl and the Meteor Mystery. Because there are 2 things that happen a lot. One I expected. One is, what about these kryptonite things everywhere? Like, kryptonites are going to be a big thing in the story of Superman.
It was going to have to be, right? It's literally the only thing that can kill him, so...
The other thing, because I guess it's Middle America and nothing else is going on, is just car accidents, Karl. Almost every episode is some kind of car accident-related problem.
Because, what an easy way to inject drama into a story, right? Of just crash your car.
Yeah, in a small town in the middle of nowhere, right, where there's 5 buildings of note and 1 company that ever gets mentioned. Like, how are we going to create the drama? Well, every villain's going to get made by them having a car crash.
Do you know what that is? It's the writing equivalent of a crutch, right? Of just, we need to inject drama into a story, have someone crash their car.
And multiple of those, as I say, are insane incidents for, they just get their powers because they happen to, I think episode 2, some guy turns into a fucking man spider because he takes all of his bugs in a car and is planning on running away from home. And these are kryptonite bugs that make him crash his car. And it's okay, then it becomes man spider.
As you mentioned, you're watching the show week to week, you might not realise how often they rely on that trope, but when you're watching 5-6 episodes on the bounce, it becomes very obvious that the writers really didn't know how else to introduce drama into their story, so fuck it, have someone crash their car.
Yeah, and I totally understand. This is not going to happen when you're watching week to week. You're not going to notice, they did a car crash again.
It's only a weakness of the story when you view it in a way that was never intended by the original creators.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. People create things for very specific formats. At the end of the day, if you were watching a movie as a TV show for some reason, someone had chopped it up into a TV show, you would be annoyed because even a good movie chopped up to be a TV show and watched weekly wouldn't work because that's not what it was invented for. It's
not the way that it was written and paced, is it? I think my favourite example, we've talked about in the past, of a TV show just expecting you to not remember what happened in the previous episode because otherwise they'd have written themselves into a corner, is Prison Break Series 1. Where the end of Season 1 is the police literally about to crest over the horizon and arrest everyone. And then Season 2 just starts them I can't believe we got away from the police. And they never explain how they got away.
Yeah, they are all in the middle of an airstrip with the plane gone, with the police literally, as you say, coming into frame over the horizon. Nowhere to go, and they're all on foot against cop cars, helicopters.
Dogs.
Yeah, dogs. And Season 2 is just them in a forest going, oh, thank God we got away.
Joe, ironically enough, the only show I can think of that got away with that is 1960s Batman. And it's why I contend 1960s Adam West Batman is the best example of Batman, as the internet understands him, who's prepared, like, as in a Batman who's prepared for everything, is when it's Batman and Robin in the Bat boat, driving along, it's like, oh, there's a submarine about to hit us. What's going to happen? Cuts to commercial. Comes back in, Batman and Robin like, whew, can't believe we got away from that one, Batman. And Batman goes, yeah, it was really, really noble of that dolphin to jump in the way at the last second. And it's like, you know what? You get away with that in Batman. Specifically 1960s Batman. Just the fact that Batman goes, it was really fortunate that a dolphin jumped in the way at the last second. And, you know, I let them get away with that because it's so fucking stupid. You get one of them.
I'm not going to lie. It's not like I'm one of these sycophants who goes like, oh, well, Smallville is perfect. There's a lot of really corny problems with this.
But, isn't that refreshing?
That's the thing. I started off watching this, and I was like, "Oh no, I have made a mistake," and I was not impressed to begin with. But then, as time goes on, it's not like I was ever craving getting back to it because I'm blitzing through it so quickly. But every time I was watching it, I was like, but this is kind of just cute and refreshing for a Superman story.
Isn't it nice to watch a bit of Superman media where Superman's parents are actually nice people and they like him?
And dear God, that's one thing that was so nice, because at the end of the season, again, you know, full spoilers for this, but we're just going to be jumping around. The end of season 1, there's a reporter who tried to blow up Clark Kent in his car. He has footage of, like, the spaceship and Clark surviving a car explosion and stuff, and is threatening to take Clark down and reveal his identity. And Jonathan Kent finds him and starts chasing him through a forest as, like, this triple mega tornado is happening and they're all about to die.
Oh no, Park Kent versus Tornado 10-0 matchup right there.
That's what I was a bit worried about. I was like, oh no, they can't be doing it this time again.
We already know Zack Snyder's a fucking hack. Did he rip off Smallville?
Yeah, I was a little bit... And you think, like, oh, he's just going for the kill. And no, he pushes him.
That's Zack Snyder ruining your perception.
That's what I was worried about. It's like, no, we can't be having another Park Kent who's, like, down for murder.
It's just a psychopath, right? I will murder any amount of men, women, and children to protect my son's identity.
Yeah, and what actually happens is they both get trapped underneath there, but they're underground and safe. This reporter is trapped underneath, like, this big, you know, like, structure or whatever, like Jonathan Kent, even in that furious rage of, you are going to fuck up my son's entire life, this is not down to you, this is not your place to decide and, you know, expose him. Even though he is going on, like, this revenge mission, all he does, like, literal time after time in quick succession, is save his life.
Yeah. And isn't that refreshing? Just as a Park Kent who actually cares about people's lives. And doesn't that give you a hint of, like, how Superman ended up becoming Superman? Of, like, wow, he's got a dad who, even when he's faced with someone who he really, realistically shouldn't like, still goes out of his way to help him because it's the right thing to do.
Still doesn't like. Still is very much in that underground going, you can't fucking do this, but what's more important is making sure that a man stays alive, right?
Yeah, it's like, why did you help me? It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's just the energy that comes off all of the Kent family, which is how a Kent family should be written. I know it's not... It sounds weird, right? Because that isn't something that should be needed to be said, but in times coming off the Snyderverse, it still does need to be said.
So did you see that interview with him where he's talking about it, of, like, justifying why Batman should kill people? It's like, he just doesn't understand Batman. It's like, okay... So Batman is placed in a situation where he has to kill someone. What would happen in your movie? And Zack Snyder's like, well, Batman would kill them. It's like, you don't understand Batman then. Because the whole point is that he'd figure out a way to not do that. That's the point. That he would go to any length to not do that. And Zack Snyder's response is, well, Batman would just kill someone.
I perceive it as not him killing directly, but by sort of... If the bad guys are associated with the thing that happens to blow up, that's not really. He would see that. He would say that that's not really my problem. You know, like they shouldn't have been around that.
Clark Kent really doesn't try that hard in this show to actually attempt to hide his powers. he's doing super speed around everyone so many times.
There's also the fact as well, like, fun fact, Tom Welling is supposed to be 14 years old in that first season.
Yeah, they're freshmen, and I looked it up of like, how old are freshmen meant to be? It's like, Lex looking older makes sense because he's not actually meant to be a high schooler, but these people, again, the classic, of especially American CW show kind of trope of like, well, yeah, Tom Welling.
It's not a CW show, but yeah, it's a trope, like you said, yeah.
That kind of vibe of like that, similar to like the Flashverse of like, this guy's a freshman in high school, right? And he's Tom Welling at 24 years old, 6'2", and ripped to shit. It's like,
that's Superman, right? You can understand why he's Superman and he's farm strong. That's always been the excuse in a lot of Superman media of like, well, how did you explain away that he's ginormous? He's a farm boy. He's just, he drinks a lot of milk and eats a lot of like beef.
But how do you write him off looking 10 years older than he is? It's like, no.
Just ignore it, it's fine.
No, and you have to with those shows, right? Because obviously it's just a way to get around having to only be able to shoot with children for like 2 hours a day when they're on kid shows and stuff. I get it, but just the age difference from the people who are clearly about 18, 19 to then Tom Welling, who's about, I think, like 24 at the start, and then the person who plays Lex, I'll have to look at again, Michael Rosenbaum.
Yep.
And he's like, again, another few years older than Tom Welling, which does make sense again because Lex Luthor's not meant to be a high schooler. He's meant to have just like been a guy that has been forced into Smallville. It has nothing to do with high school.
Pete, why didn't you just call the cops? It's been a lot easier.
Hey, I can't claim credit. It wasn't my idea.
It was mine. Call it a party gift.
It's a little bit jarring, but you get there. You understand, right?
Also, as well, at a certain point, you stop seeing it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You embrace the idea, but it's so refreshing to again see the Kents like be so positive, but then you also bring in Lex Luthor, who obviously wants to offer the Kents and Clark specifically a lot of things that they may not have access to, especially monetarily wise. Like, even in the first episode, you see Lex gift Clark a car, and Jonathan Kent instinctively doesn't trust the Luthor family, so therefore doesn't trust Lex. It's more that he doesn't trust his dad. And then there's like a kind of whole dynamic between Lex and his father of Lex trying to get from underneath his father, but most people just see him as his father's son, and he has that reputation, right? And you do get that other side though of Lex still being that billionaire trying to just whisper in the ear of Clark of like, it's okay, you can succumb, like you can use your powers, like, and he doesn't mean literal powers, but for example when he finds like the necklace of Lana's, and Lana has a boyfriend who lost the necklace, and he's like, Clark, you're infatuated with Lana and you just found her necklace that her jock useless boyfriend has lost. If you then go over and like tell Lana that you found the necklace, like you're using that power to be able to kind of put Lana in your pocket, so to speak. And this is how Lex sees people, right? As like chess pieces.
Manipulation 101, right? Of just people are playthings for people like us, like Clark, people with power.
Yeah, it's a fascinating friendship where constantly just Lex is offering the Kents and Clark opportunities to kind of like bend the knee a little bit to that dark side.
Once she opens it, you'll win her heart. That necklace gives you the power, Clark. All you've got to do is use it.
Yeah, he's like the devil on my shoulder, right? Because that's the whole thing about Lex. Of like, he is like humanity personified.
And it's really nice to see a Clark that constantly learns from Jonathan and go, no, I will be the better man. I will give up the car that was gifted to me. Okay, I did save your life, but that's, not something I earned. And that's all that, like, Jonathan Kent wants, is to instill these good factors within Clark. And you very much get to see that kind of dynamic in play of, as you say, Lex being the devil on the shoulder, but Jonathan Kent being like the angel on the other side. And
it's the reason why Superman is Superman. The descriptor of Superman that's used in the comics that I love is just, he's a good-natured farm boy from Kansas.
Week to week, watching it, a lot of it is really corny. The CGI is terrible.
Oh, it adds to the charm after a certain point.
After a certain point, it kind of does. But Like, there are just so many moments where the CGI is like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
But then you get, performances from the main cast, and they're all very endearing and very charming, and you believe in these people as personalities, not necessarily what's happening around them week to week, but hey, Chloe is there with her wall of weird, cataloguing everything for the school newspaper, which, is a bit weird that only one person has noted all these coincidences, but it's nice that you have that character there.
Yeah, I'm always, annoyed when you watch a TV show, especially a long-running TV show, where it has, like I said, a car crash every other episode. When you don't have a character comment on how weird it is, I'm going to be annoyed about that. It's why X-Files will always reign supreme. That Fox Mulder is always like, isn't it fucking weird how there's vampires and stuff? It's like, no, it's not. It's like, it fucking is.
Yeah, the character Chloe, as I mentioned, just has this wall of weird, where it's just, hey, here's everything that I've managed to find from every different paper, and the things that I'm adding to it as well through my own paper, of shit that's gone weird since that meteorite strike, 12 years ago, whatever.
I call it the Wall of Weird. It's every strange, bizarre, and unexplained event that's happened in Smallville since the meteor shower. That's when it all began.
And Karl?
Yes?
I did ask you to look up the meteorite strike.
You did, yes. You wanted me to watch the first scene of Smallville, and I have some thoughts. One, that CGI is not great, but it's still better than the CGI in the Flash movie.
It opens up with, the destruction coming down from space, and that second one, that was my first moment of,
oh no. But then, you get some great performances. Like, you get a little baby Lex Luthor, and I like how it's comic accurate Lex Luthor. He's got the red hair. Lex Luthor does have red curly hair in the comics, and he does lose it because of an accident caused by Superman. It's not because a meteorite hits him.
That's the thing. The balls to give him alopecia through meteorite strike is great.
Yeah, but in the earliest comics, anyway, I think Smallville took inspiration from more modern and classic Golden Age Superman. Lex Luthor lost his hair because he was in an accident caused by Superman, so that fits.
Yeah, and the meteorite strike is the Clark Kent's ship coming down, and it just happens to bring with it a bunch of meteors that hit Smallville specifically. What did you think about Lana's parents dying?
It's rough, but I guess you need the inciting incident, right? Because at some point, your character's got to have some tragic backstory. You're telling a story, someone's got to have dead parents. I'm sorry. The thing I found weird is the woman who clearly so wants to fuck Jonathan Kent. It was just so... Because when she rocks someone else, that's a hot lady. And then Jonathan Kent turns up and it's like, he's there with his wife, girl. Calm down.
Afternoon, Nell.
Jonathan. Martha, what a surprise.
The thing that got me about Lana's parents dying is not that they died. It's that they just looked up into the sky holding each other and just looked at a meteorite coming down and just tanked it to the face. Zero reaction. I'm pretty sure...
Lucas, as well, what the fuck are you going to do? I respect that we're not going to get out.
You'd at least panic, right? They just looked up and went, oh, we're dead.
To be fair, it's not like they had anything to regret, is it? Oh, wait, they got a daughter. Shit.
I'm sure. Not to the actor's fault, because I'm sure they just got told, look into the sky and die.
Yeah, look at the sky of, reserve dignity.
But just, they absolutely tanked it to the face with zero reaction.
It reminds me, someone singled out, because, Fantastic Four has been, in the zeitgeist again. So it's during, the Silver Surfer movie from, the 2000s, before Ben Grimm's wife is about to get hit by a helicopter, because the actress is playing someone who's blind. Obviously, she's not supposed to react to the helicopter about to hit her, but the actress didn't even react to, the air cannon hitting her. And in fact, if you look, she actually, she fucking blue steeled it, and you couldn't see it. And obviously in the film the first time, because there's a helicopter, rotor blade in a way. But if you slow it down, you can see a blue steel for the camera.
But, she's not deaf.
No, that's the thing, she's not deaf. She can hear an explosion. She's not She doesn't react with fear or surprise. She just looks at the camera and just goes, And then the thing just headbutts the helicopter out of the way. It's great, but...
That's having faith in your husband right there.
To be fair, she's marrying a bulletproof rock monster. She fucking knows, right?
But yes, it does say that Smallville was an American television series that debuted October 16th, 2001 on the WB television network and ended May 13th, 2011. The 10-year run.
You know what? That's what all shows want, right? Because you know what that means? Tom Welling never has to fucking work again. And you know what? I looked at his IMDb page, he hasn't.
I do have to question elements of the amount of times I've seen them podcast and do Comic-Con and stuff about Smallville. Because Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, I respect how much they love Smallville, clearly. But it's like, how much do you love Smallville? And how much have you just never found another job?
Well, for Tom Welling, it's like he literally never got another job. Like, he appeared, I think he said, I want to be in Smallville as long as you can promise me it won't ruin my movie career. And then he was in like 2 movies. But then again, he's like in 10 seasons of a syndicated TV show. Dude's probably fucking living off those residuals. Yeah. Michael Rosenbaum is a decent actor. And a voice actor, he was like Wally West, like for DC animated stuff. He's also in Guardians of the Galaxy because he's friends with James Gunn.
He's in Guardians.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's Martin X. I looked it up. It was like a minor character, but he gets on well enough with James Gunn. And do you know how they met each other? Because Michael Rosenbaum is a voice actor. He was in Lollipop Chainsaw.
I mean, let me tell you about a project that's getting some sequels, Karl.
Exactly. So yeah, he was in Lollipop Chainsaw, which is how we met James Gunn, and James Gunn put him in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's also in the new Superman movie. He has a cameo as one of the guards.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's doing well. Tom Welling, though, I think he's just happy living off those residuals and driving his car drunk.
I think so, because, like, doesn't seem like most of them, like, Kristen Kreuk, who plays Lana Lang.
Well, I've never seen... Do you know why that is, Lucas?
Oh, no.
She's the one who was, like, either running or part of a cult. She was doing, like, recruitment for a cult, and she just went back to Canada so she didn't get sued. I think that's the story, but I know she had something to do with a cult.
Okay, so I'll bring up other people then. I have not seen people like Eric Johnson, Sam Jones III, or Alison Mack on Comic-Con panels talking about their characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 2 main characters are Superman and Lex Luthor, obviously. But
it's about how gay they are for each other, yeah.
I mean, that's a romance that I'm down to see. I'd ship those 2.
Well, it's the thing, it's a bromance, especially as it's a cursed bromance, because you know at some point they're going to fall out.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I'm only in the early episodes still, because I'm sure there's another 5,000 fucking hours worth of this television show I've got to watch.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so refreshing to see a friendship between Superman and Lex before everything fell apart.
That's the thing, that they would be good friends, if not for the fact that they both have so much power.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see them being friends, but you obviously get the hint even from second one that Lex is investigating the car crash because he sees that something's fishy. He's like, I remember hitting that dude at 60 miles an hour and he just swam out and saved my life.
What happened to your car?
I drove it off a bridge at 60 miles an hour.
How are you still alive?
That's the mystery I need your help solving.
And that's the thing, right, of what you want is Superman to make Lex better. What you know is going to happen is Lex is going to make Superman worse.
It's kind of neither, so far at least. It's a push and pull, right?
Get out from underneath his father's thumb and, become like the good guy that Clark believes he can be.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Superman, truth, justice, hope, and a better tomorrow.
Hang on, wait. What?
There's a couple of actors. Like I've been looking at the page as well. We've got a few people who are well known. We've got Jensen Ackles.
So I've just gone, wait, what? Jensen Ackles was in this? I've just looked at the cast list further down. He got called to play the part of Dean Winchester on Supernatural when he was like mid-season on season 4.
And he got written out of the show, yeah. We also have a couple of ones that I recognise. Aaron Ashmore, aka Bobby Drake, Iceman.
So, Aaron Ashmore is not Iceman. That's Sean Ashmore.
Has he got a brother?
Sean Ashmore and Aaron Ashmore are twins. And Sean Ashmore appears as a villain in season 1. He's a kid that gets Superman's powers and abuses them and then ends up trading them back by the end of the episode because Monster of the Week. Then Aaron Ashmore, seasons later, turns up as, what's his name? Jimmy, the reporter guy.
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen, yeah.
You know what? I'm glad that they both work. Maybe one works more than the other one, but I can't imagine how annoying it'd be if your identical twin brother is a famous actor and you're not.
No, yeah, I think that Shawn Ashmore gets more movie roles and Aaron gets more TV roles, but if you're getting like 3 seasons of late Smallville pay to be Jimmy Olsen, not a bad deal.
It's not, like I said, residuals on that alone. You're going to be like, it's not going to buy your house, but it's going to pay your mortgage.
I've just noticed that Sam Whip was in this list as well.
Yeah, The Apprentice.
They're in everything, but one thing that I did look up is that John Snyder, who plays Jonathan Kent, he is one of the 2 like Dukes of Hazzards from back in the day on the TV
feel like
show.
that. Yeah, shows like this, they always get some big established actor to play the dad. I think it's like the Flash TV show where the actor they got to play, like the Flash's dad, was the Flash in like the 70s, but he was like also like this big actor from the 70s who kind of had his day, but was well established enough where he brings a gravitas to that small role, and he was also happy to do it because of the legacy that the character had.
Yeah, so just double checked, and like John Snyder was Bo Duke in the Dukes of Hazzard, and yeah, just like as you say, bring in someone that's like a bit more of a veteran, a little bit more well known, to just give a bit of credence to the show, but not necessarily a superstar, but just a big TV star from like someone that people would recognize from like 20, 30 years ago, right?
Plus, well, just you need someone who has, like I said, that presence as an actor to portray a role that's supposed to be someone who's important. Like I think to the guy who plays Lex Luthor's dad, I've got it here, John Glover.
Oh yeah, he's great as well. Yeah,
he just has like amazing screen presence. Like like that's a dude who you know has been an actor for decades.
Yeah,
he just like walks onto a fucking set with like the Freezer's power level. He fucking knows, right?
The question you have to ask yourself, Lex, is, are you good enough to take your old man?
He's fantastic as well, but John Snyder, they constantly talk about like the Kent charm in the first season of like how charming Jonathan Kent must be and how like Clark Kent clearly gets that from his dad, and you can believe it because John Snyder's just he's charm left, right, and centre.
It's like first episode. He's like he doesn't even need to try, and he's rizzed up the lady in the flower shop. She's got the landing lights going straight to Cooch. His wife's there, and she's like, "You want in?"
When did you get to be so wise? Ask my dad.
I went from being like kind of a bit critical of the show early on and going like, what the fuck have I got myself into? And just the amount of charm and personality and sincerity in the first season, it really does bring you around, and I totally understand why people love it. As I say, I wasn't in the experience of loving the show. Every time I turned it off, I was like, that's enough for today. But every time I turned it back on because I had to force myself to, I did enjoy my time, and I was just like really brought in by like kind of the I'd say the charm of the show.
Yes, there's a quaintness to it, and I do have one section that you might not have gotten to on the wiki page that I want to read out, and it's on the music, and it's particularly this section, Lucas. So, Season 3's Velocity provided the music editors with the opportunity to use hip-hop, which was rarely used in the series up to that point. The episode is similar to, and drew inspiration from, The Fast and the Furious, and focused on the character of Pete. Wade Reed heard of British hip-hop artist Dizzy Rascal.
No, not the Rascal!
The first person in the United States to secure the rights to Rascal's back catalogue for the series.
Oh no.
There's something about the idea of they did a Fast and Furious inspired episode with Dizzy Rascal providing the
Dizzy
soundtrack.
Rascal. Just the most heartland of middle America is Dizzy Rascal, right?
To be fair, I would love to see an average American's response to Dizzy fucking Rascal.
Obviously, I can't put any music in because Diego, that's the thing, I'm going to have to be careful about the clips that I put in with sound because this is just filled with early 2000s, late 90s soundtrack. Like, it's all over the shop. It is so early noughties.
One thing I know about Smallville is that it's one of those shows that has like infamously bad DVD re-releases because
of the soundtrack.
Because the licensed soundtrack gets them fucked on DVD releases and they just cut it out wholesale, which ruins the intended tone of some scenes. Because some scenes, as mentioned, were literally written with certain pieces of music in mind. And when you remove them wholesale, replace them with stock music, it completely annihilates the tone they were going for. So I sure hope Dizzy Rascal got paid enough to have his music appear in the Blu-ray.
I mentioned the man spider character that comes out in episode 2. And he's leaving his mum's house because she's threatened to, like, send him to the military.
Okay.
You know, the only thing he can think to do is go on a road trip with his bugs and leave Smallville.
Become a bug Spider-Man, let's go.
And what would that scene ever tell you if Last Resort by Papa Roach was not playing in the background?
Of course they play Papa Roach, because they just think, well, it's Papa Roach, right?
Karl, it was his last resort, and he had a lot of bugs on him.
What is, like, the most, like, on-the-nose example of that? And why is it Zack Snyder playing the Cranberries zombie in a zombie movie, even though the song Zombie is not about zombies? Because he's so fucking stupid, he didn't even bother listening to the lyrics. He just saw that it was called Zombie and thought it was about zombies. It's not.
Didn't realise it's about an Irish tragedy instead.
Yeah. I think he actually tried to defend that as well. Said, look, people can interpret songs many different ways. And it's like, well, you fucking don't, do you? Because you only interpret them literally.
Yeah, you know what? He saw Zombie and he heard Zombie. He interpreted that in the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
Go. And it's just so refreshing because I have not gone and seen, at the time of recording, the new Superman. I had to cancel my ticket to go watch the Superman movie because I had to make sure I had enough time to watch Smallville because I didn't have the spare 3 hours. It needed to be Smallville time. So I need to watch Superman this week, but yeah.
That's a part of our job people don't. They don't appreciate that. Every now and again, me and Lucas have to call up friends, family, loved ones, and be like, look, I can't hang out today, so I'm watching fucking Smallville.
I need to watch 10 more hours of Smallville. I'm really sorry.
People better appreciate this. This better get a lot of views, or a lot of people are on our Patreon supporting us. Can be annoyed if it doesn't. Like, because what's the incentive to ever put up another option that requires us to do more effort than watching a single movie?
Yeah, like the ratio of 20 hours of viewing time to 1 hour of recording time is not a great payoff. Especially not when we've got to do like 5 of these a week or whatever. Oh dear. But you know, I did have a fun time, and I think I like to end things on a fun note. I mentioned this in the Discord of like, you know, sometimes Smallville is very cringy and some episodes are not great. I'm looking at you, the Amy Adams episode where they talk about like fat shaming women. Weird episode to go back to with 2025 goggles on. But you know, just looking at Tom Welling and looking into those eyes, and he's got some dreamy eyes, Karl.
Also, he's Superman, right? You inherently want to trust him.
Like, you do want to trust Tom Welling. Like, I don't look at Henry Cavill and feel safe. One thing I'll end on, though.
Yes.
I don't like how creepy Clark is in this. I hope it changes.
I think he's supposed to be a teenager, right? It's because you're looking at adult Tom Welling, it looks weird, but if you think in your head he's a teenager, of course he's going to use his X-ray vision to skis on women taking a shower.
That's the thing I don't like, is that he has a telescope that he lives a mile away from Lana Lang on opposite farms, and like he just puts that telescope right into Lana's eyes like every fucking day. Which, you know, girl next door,
really next door.
Real next door, and trying to like deal with a crush on her. I get it a little bit. Then he gets his X-ray powers while he's in like the gym, and he zones out after like falling off a rope, sees through into the girls' changing rooms as Lana's taking off a towel, and instead of doing it, like, it ends that shot on Clark just deeply staring through the wall and smiling as she takes the robe off.
You can't blame him now, right? So if in that shot he's a teenager.
I know. It still doesn't excuse the amount of stalkerish vibes in that first season from Superman. I get it.
Different time, right?
Different time, and they're meant to be teenagers. But I don't like my Superman being a skeezy stalker.
Then again, it's not without precedent, I think, to the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, when Lois Lane's interviewing him. And she asks him, like, so what are your powers? And he's like, I'm bulletproof, I can leap tall buildings in a single bound. And she asks him, well, X-ray vision, how does that work? He's like, well, I can see through anything except for lead. And she asks him playfully, what colour underwear am I wearing? And he says, I wouldn't use my powers to do that, Miss Lane. And then as he leaves, he says, black. or Pink. He answers because he
I
did
think
it.
it's Pink, yeah, but
They've been flirting with each other, and like, you know, he reveals that I can use my powers to do that, but I don't.
But I secretly do. But anyway, like, again, I think for the most part, terrible CGI, not great storylines.
I do like the X-ray CGI though, the horrifying skeleton people.
Oh, the skeleton people are so bad.
You can see why Clark would be freaked out though, right? If you've got if you hit your head and you're surrounded by the fucking like Detective Vision Batman skeletons.
Clockman, what's wrong? Clockman, what's wrong?
Did you see the discourse around like who's a bigger hater, Lex Luthor or Eddie Brock? And I was like, Lex Luthor is an S tier hater, but Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3 sat in church and asked God to kill Peter Parker, not even knowing he was Spider-Man. You don't get like that is the hater mount. Like that should be on like the if they had a Mount Rushmore of haters, it would just be that scene 4 times.
I just think at least Lex Luthor has the balls to just say, you know, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. Eddie Brock's just there like, please God, kill Peter Parker.
It's just the fact that he doesn't even know he's Spider-Man yet.
Yeah.
Like, he goes to church to ask God to kill someone he doesn't like. That is like beyond hater.
Like, as far as he's away, it's like, kill this photographer that did a better job than I did.
It reminds me a little bit of, do you remember when Kanye West went crazy, but not so crazy that it'd be weird to talk about?
Right.
And like Pete Davidson was like fucking his ex. Like, he was quoted as saying like a song or something. God told me that Pete Davidson was my enemy, and someone broke it down like, Kanye, you're like 15 years older than him, and Pete Davidson's dad died in 9/11. So what you're saying is like God came to Earth like 10 years ago and told you, yeah, Kanye, this little 11-year-old kid in New York, his dad's just died in 9/11. You need to get him. You need to get him, Kanye.
I don't know how to end it after that. So thank you, Karl, and thank you all for watching this part. I hope you all have a lovely day.
Just imagine sitting in church and be like, get him, God. You're asking for it. Get him. Because the thing that someone pointed out as well, that after he prays to God to kill Peter Parker, Venom gets him, which means that, does God hate Peter Parker?
Yeah,
Did
maybe.
God send Venom to get him?
God sent Venom to kill Peter Parker. Wow, Karl. That was a really great video that we both just watched.
It was indeed, yes. I greatly enjoyed our discussion of Topic.
I love Topic.
I do, yes. Like, you know, the stuff we talked about while discussing Topic was very interesting, and I hope the audience found it interesting too.
You're one sexy man. Fill up, J. Fry.
And you know who else we have to show love to, Karl? That would be, of course, the people on our shout-out tier over on our Patreon.
We certainly do, Lucas, and if anyone would like to join our Patreon to get a shout-out at the end of the videos, they can do so by following the links found below. As a reminder, we have a standing offer, a challenge, if you will, to our audience to try and come up with a name to shout out that is difficult for us to pronounce or just embarrasses us with our lack of knowledge, as people did last month with the reference to the Transformers movie we didn't get.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that was a rough one. People certainly let us know about that, but hopefully maybe we do a little bit better this time with knowing what all the references are.
Ba weep grana weep ninibong.
Ba weep grana weep ninibong.
Ba weep grana weep ninibong.
Well, I certainly get the reference in the first person we have to shout out. So the first person we have to give a shout out to is Bee of Awesome. Specifically, their name reads, Bee of Awesome do a fusion dance to make Karl or Carcass. P.S. Wish me luck with the calves this month. And Lucas, are you feeling a fusion dance?
I mean, yeah, sure, let's go.
Okay, so do you remember the fusion dance?
I do, because you got to kind of go that way and then that way.
You go that way, and then it's you want to do the so
fusion. There we go. We did our best. The Discord
also,
fusion.
like, we'd have to get really far back as well to make sure we can fit our arms on screen. So I feel like with our height difference, if we try to do a fusion dance, we would do the thing where your fingers don't quite connect, and we'd end up creating like a really skinny one or a really fat one.
But then the next person we have to shout out is Dan Daly. So thank you so much, Dan Daly.
And I am a big fan of the alliteration. The more alliteration, the better, in my opinion, which a couple of our Patreon supporters have taken to heart by turning their name into a tongue twister.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But there's no tongue twister here, Lucas, with Judge Dredd. Simply Judge Dredd. And I just want to give one more shout out, because every time I point out that Judge Dredd is supposed to be like satire, some people don't get it. And it's like, do you really not get that it's supposed to be satire when Judge Dredd uses white phosphorus indoors?
Shh, Karl. That's just badass, right? That's just cool.
It's like, well, I didn't realise Judge Dredd is a commentary on the over-militarisation of the police. White phosphorus grenades authorised for use indoors, next to people's houses.
Oh. That would lead to, Karl, people kicking the bucket.
It would indeed.
That's how we thank the next person who supports us. Kicking bucket with a little bucket emoji afterwards.
I love us like, again, at some point, we're going to get people to submit in hieroglyphics.
We have to, yeah.
Like, people are going to be submitting hieroglyphics or just like, Sanskrit. Or just like, okay, I translated the sound that an owl made. There you go, done.
Like,
figure that out.
What happens when you put Wingdings into Patreon names, right?
Oh god, I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out what happens when you try and get Microsoft Sam to say Wingdings.
Put out an APB on a Eustace R. Dewo. Better start with Greektown.
Right. And the next person we have to shout out is Lucille DeSteele. And thank you to Lucille DeSteele for letting me put in more clips of one of my favourite films, Real Steel.
Please do something!
Not yet!
That's right, Charlie, not yet!
I don't care how limp the excuse is. If there's an opportunity to put a clip of Real Steel into a video, I'm putting a clip of Real Steel into that video. Specifically my favourite clip, where right at the end of the film, Hugh Jackman, who's in control of the robot, just go with it, he's fighting like an 85-ton mega super billion-dollar robot, and he just goes... he just gives him like, I'm not fucking done, I didn't hear no bell.
I gotta tell you folks, the champ looks tired. This robot seems to be running on empty. I don't believe it. Adam is taunting Zeus. Mr. Turbo. He's actually asking for more.
And Karl, if we're going to use this as an excuse to throw in some like fun clips from comfort movies, then I have to thank Michael Tatum for supporting us, so I can throw in a clip of one of my favourite mics, and that is Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc.
Oh, well, hello there. What's your name?
Michael Tatum.
Is it ever confirmed that his full name is Michael Wazowski, or is it just Mike?
I don't know about the Michael. It's definitely Mike Wazowski. I don't know whether it's Michael Wazowski.
Because I know, like, Sully is James P. Sullivan, right? Yeah. Like, he has, like, a full proper name. I'll double check. And I'll put, like, a picture on screen to confirm whether or not... Is he Michael Wazowski, or is it Mike?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you, right? When I found out your name isn't Lucas.
Shush, that doesn't need to go in. It's fine.
The thing is, that's law. That's deep law. So, wait, what? Lucas's name isn't Lucas? What the fuck is it?
Shh. Cut the clip.
Shh. Don't tell people his secret real name. So we move on now to, speaking of secret real name, Rosalindus Memphis. And I did try, last time we shouted out Rosalindus Memphis, who is a returning supporter, thank you very much, a clip from the song Walking in Memphis, because I like that song, and it's the only song I could think of with the word Memphis in it. I put in 1 second of that piano intro, instantly copyright struck. Keep in mind as well that this shout out goes at the end of the video.
Yeah.
So at the end of a 50-minute long video, whoever owns the rights to that song, Mark Cohen, I think it is, his music label must have seen this video. Oh, it's a 55-minute long video. They use 1 second of his song.
We own that shit.
We can claim all that money. It's like, fuck you.
I'm going to make things a little bit more difficult for you then, Karl, because I'm going to say, thank you to the next person who is on our chart here, of course, Split Screen. And I was going to mention, as you mentioned music, just putting in some Starscream music from Transformers Devastation.
Prepare to be lost in space, Autobot!
Oh, you can get away with that. Video game music you always get away with.
Oh, okay.
So I'll definitely put the clip in of Starscream's theme song from Transformers Devastation. That game whips ass. And you know what? Whoever wrote that song won't send us a copyright strike because they want it to be shared. They know how rad it is. You know what, Karl? you put that clip of Starscream's theme in. It's awesome. More people need to hear.
Hopefully a Transformers clip will make up for our like devastating Transformers miss last month.
And I will certainly put in the clip of Starscream flying into frame as like Butt Rock starts playing in the background in the middle of space, where he just screams like, "Prepare to be lost in space, Autobots!" My favourite quote from Starscream is in like the challenge mode, where one of the challenges is fight Starscream and Thundercracker and like 15 other fucking jets at once. And it's the only time in the game Starscream ever says the line, "Death from above." But he says it so quick because he's flying as he says it. He's like, "Death from above!" and just flies in.
Destruction from above!
And as mentioned earlier, there's a gauntlet being thrown down for our audience on Patreon to challenge us with tongue twisters. Someone's taken that gauntlet, dipped it in shit and slapped me across the face with it. So their name is the Boledos Bajando Baja Blast Buffing Bacas de Caca de Buffalo Bombonado Bolodeses Bucanada Ebaca Bailando Con Barbosa. And I will say, I'm a fan of tongue twisters. I'm not a fan of tongue twisters in languages I don't speak. I like my favourite poem. Like Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair, so Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't Fuzzy Wuzzy.
And in that cut...
So I'm good at tongue twisters, just not ones in languages I don't speak.
I was giggling because Karl has clearly cut him fumbling a tongue twister out.
That's getting cut as well, fuck it.
And then I guess one name to challenge me to shout out is Tiniqui Ochata Ogdiclane Tomi. And you always correct me on this one. Is it Nahuatl, the language? Yes?
Nahuatl, I believe, yes. Like
getting there.
Mexicano, I believe.
I'm getting there.
We don't speak the language, so we appreciate people trying to challenge us on our pronunciation, but for a tongue twister, give me a tongue twister in English. And speaking of little, the final person we have to shout out is ghost emoji, little ghost emoji, ghost emoji. And Lucas, who's your favourite little ghost? Is it Casper? It's got to be Casper.
I mean, the moment you said little ghost, the first thing that came to my brain was Casper. So if not my favourite, it's at least word association, right?
Yeah, like Casper, like the friendly little ghost. Like, should we do a video about Casper at some point? I'd like to rewatch that movie to see if it's held up. To be fair, I would actually low-key kind of love a reboot of Casper the asshole ghost with a gun.
Oh, dear. But yeah, I guess thank you all once again for a new month of more support from all you lovely folks. And yeah, it's just always appreciated. Thank you so much.
Support is never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you. Have a great time.
Yeah.